What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Enhanced. It's time to do Chinese Embassy, or more specifically, Chinese Embassy 1, since this is the first of 2 levels with that name. Pick up this soda can and then drop down here. The can should fall with you, but we want it to fall with us because we need to distract this soldier that's coming directly our way. Make sure you're tucked in this corner so that he doesn't actually see you. He should go further into the alley, and then he should be facing away, allowing us to get out of the alley and then very quickly and carefully get here, so that we're in darkness while we wait for the next soldier to move. Alright, so once he turns around, we'll carefully get to the hole in the wall right here. And then there's a ladder in the corner. And then from there we can get to a scaffolding which will let us traverse the high ground to get around the soldiers in this area. So as far as this level is concerned, this is up there with Oil Refinery as one of the easiest levels to get 100% on. And to Ghost, because there is not a single enemy that's going to be knocked out. Okay, so once you get to a point where you start getting in light, you're going to have to pull your pistol out and pray to God you can shoot that tiny little light bulb with this shitty pistol. But it may take 1,000 shots, but you'll eventually get it. So what you want to do now is you're going to have to run and jump to the next ledge. Not like that, like this. You run, jump, and then I recommend rolling once you land, just to make sure you're not making too much noise. And now we just have to get all the way to the end here. We can drop down here and hide from the 2 soldiers that are about to come up the street. Going back to what this level is like. It's one of the easiest levels to get 100% on, like I said. It's going to be completely ghosted, so not a single enemy gets knocked out. One thing really important, though, is at the very end of the level. This is the first level, or at least the first of the 10 official levels of the game, where you have diversion cameras for your SC-20K. Shoot out that light so that you can crawl into the sewer without them seeing you. But the diversion cameras can distract enemies and they can launch knockout gas. However, in this game, at least in the vanilla game, the diversion camera gas on hard difficulty only stuns enemies. It doesn't actually knock them out. If you have the enhanced mod, there's an option where you can scale gadgets on hard difficulty, meaning that the knockout gas will actually knock them out on hard. You may recall from when I showed off the training level discussing the mod in general, we have that option turned off for a reason. Whenever we use the diversion camera gas in this game, we need to stun enemies. We do not want them knocked out. So for that reason, I'm keeping the diversion camera gas in its default setting of only stunning enemies. So getting back on track with what we're actually doing in the present, once we're down in the sewer, we're going to have to very carefully trail behind these 3 soldiers for a while. And they have headlamps, so if you're in dark and they turn around and see you, you're screwed. So do not make too much noise, and don't do anything to get their attention. So back over there, we had to hide off to the side so that he didn't see us. And now we're going to have to hide off to the side again, because one of them is going to come back and double check the area, basically. So just hang out here, and then, like I said, one of them will come back to check the area, make sure it's clear, and then he'll go back and rejoin the group, allowing us to proceed forward. So here he comes. Let him turn around. Alright, now we will proceed on. During most of your time in the sewer when you're trailing these guys, ideally you're going to want to stay to the right most of the time, because that's where that's where like the concrete or the pavement is, as opposed to the left where you're in the actual sewage, and walking through the water could make noise. So you want to lean up against the wall so that you're as hidden as possible. This conversation is going to have to play out so that the soldiers progress onwards, and then we'll just continue trailing them. Now, the exact point in which you want to get out of the sewers is kind of, it's kind of easy to miss, especially if you're doing a blind playthrough and you don't really know where you're going, but I'll obviously be showing you where to go. So once they proceed onwards, we will do the same by being carefully behind them. There's a very specific manhole ladder that we're going to be climbing up to get out of here. Basically, all three of these guys are going to branch off. I think two of them continue forward, and then this guy in back is going to go to the right. Yep, just like that. That ladder on the ceiling there, right there, is going to be our way up. So just very carefully jump on it. Make sure you stick the land. I recommend quick saving, because if you don't stick the landing, the guys in the sewer could hear you. Once he turns around, we'll climb up, and thankfully there's more scaffolding. We're going to be using it to traverse around this guy. Just be careful not to make too much noise up here, because he could hear you. And if he's walking towards this direction, and you step into the wrong spot, he could also potentially see you. So let's try that again. Just let him go by. Drop softly by hitting jump, and then by doing the jump crouch, as in, but with the default key bindings, Shift C. And then we'll climb through the window, climb the pipe up to the next floor, and here is our contact who will give us intel about the embassy and infiltrating it to eavesdrop on a Chinese general who has supposedly seized the building and is using it as a supposed base of operations. Of course, anyone who knows the story of this game knows that that's exactly what's going on. Kong Farong and his Splinter faction of the Chinese government has seized the Chinese embassy in Myanmar, and they're using it for their base of operations towards their own agenda, in conjunction with Nicolads, who's aiding them. The cut content of this game, the nuclear power plant called Nadezhda, and then the Severo-Nickel facility, which were the two levels that were supposed to be before this, were... The former is how Nicolads was supplying Farong with nuclear waste, and then the latter was where Philippe Mass and the source of the information warfare was being set up. Anyways, back to what we're doing. You want to get here immediately so that this guy does not see you as he turns around, because he will turn his headlamp on, as you can see. Careful with this guy. We want to get to the other side of the street and basically stay up against this wooden wall. So basically we're going to walk down the street and hug the wall to the far left. It's literally just as easy as I'm making it look, because it's all completely in shadow, and as long as you're not making loud footsteps, you'll get by no problem. This alleyway to the left is where we go. Just watch out for him. And don't cut the corner yet, because we've got another soldier with a headlamp. let him look out this way, and then let him climb that little fire escape ladder, and then we will proceed onwards. We're going to want to wait for him to round the corner of the building before we climb the ladder ourselves. Why? The ladder squeaks when you climb it, and if he's too close, he'll hear it, and he can definitely see you, not only because he has a headlamp, but it's also bright as a Christmas tree in this alleyway. So, hide yourself here, and we're going to need that soldier to come back. So from this point on, the alarm limit has reduced from the typical 3 to just 1. You cannot have a single alarm from this point forward. I think it's from this point until after laser miking for wrong. Anyways, let him come back, and then he's going to have to round the corner. And then what I like to do is get on the ladder and then drop softly by doing the Shift C or jump crouch, like that. Alright, onward we go. To get through this next section of street, just stay in darkness. There's a literal path of shadows that you can take. It's easier to see with the night vision off. And there's only really one guy on the street you gotta worry about. There's a camera too, but if you stay in the shadows, it won't even come close to spotting you. So, at the gate, stay to the far left so that we can carefully slip in, like so. And then we're going to want to be behind the little guard checkpoint hut, because we need to wait for the right moment to proceed onwards. As there's a soldier over there by that truck trailer, and then there's another soldier with a dog over further onwards where we're going to be going. Both of which cannot be looking in this general direction because it's so bright. So now should be about the time to move, but I waited too late because I gave the dog patrol guy a chance to see me. Because there he is right there. So yeah, instant detection right there. So basically you're going to have to carefully eyeball both of these guys and then go at the right moment. You're going to want to get under the trailer in front of the stabilizers. Stay against this wall to the right, and then just do your little sneak run rolling to get to the gazebo over here. And then we'll get around it, and then right here, this part, here's what you want to do. I should warn you, dogs in Splinter Cell are a nightmare. They can, like, telepathically smell your scent from, like, across the country. And 99.9% of the time, that dog is going to pick up your scent and try to trail you. Here's the trick. If you stand in this little pond, the dog won't find you. Because the dog is not capable of going into the water. Or at least, he can't go into this particular pond in this particular level. But in this recording, I don't think the dog even sensed me. I was just waiting it out to be safe. And I even did like a backup manual save. But what should happen under normal circumstances is the dog does pick up your scent, and then you just gotta stand in the pond until he loses it, since the dog is not capable of going into the water. But as long as you know you're safe, you can proceed onwards. You got a nice little dark little area right here. Get your laser mic equipped. There's Kong Farong in the window. You want to get close to the bushes and then Get your laser mic pointed at that particular window so you can begin the eavesdropping. So just listen in on the conversation. He'll eventually say that he's going to call him back from his car, so we're going to have to reposition ourselves to continue the eavesdropping once he's in his limousine. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. This next part is where the whole diversion camera thing is going to be taking effect. We have to cross this courtyard in order to escape, and this courtyard is lit up like a football field. You're not getting across it without any kind of distractions or, in this case, stunning the enemies. This is why the enhanced option of scaling gadgets on hard absolutely must be turned off, so that the diversion camera gas only stuns the enemies, just like it does in the vanilla game, as opposed to actually knocking them out. Because we are playing on hard difficulty, and in the vanilla game I would take advantage of the fact that diversion camera gas would only stun enemies for the sake of ghosting. That's why I have the setting turned off, but I'm sure I've emphasized that enough. So, staying in the shadows, obviously, you'll want to have your laser mic out and continue the eavesdropping right here, while the car is at the gate. As soon as he hangs up and the red goes away from the square, we then have to very quickly we have to equip our SC-20K rifle and then get the diversion cameras inside the grenade launcher, because we need to get ready to use one to distract and stun two of the three soldiers in this courtyard. It's kind of tricky to do, especially because it's a little inconsistent to pull off. But at the very least, we're hidden in shadows, and you can very, very, very easily quick load and retry if you don't get it right. As opposed to an insanely tricky diversion camera distraction we're going to be doing in the next level. So yeah, I got the diversion cameras out, and I stupidly unequipped them, which is why I have to which is why you're going to see me quick loading. And then the idea is to aim it about there as soon as he moves. You want to launch it now, but I'm going to do it wrong a few times. That way I can give an idea of what not to do, as per usual. So, make sure you've got the diversion cameras. Stand here and be ready to run. Launch it there, right about now. But this is wrong. Well, I guess this didn't work because the guy that was walking away didn't see it. And he wasn't close enough to hear the noise either. The trick is the guy heading towards the front door needs to see it, and the guy walking away needs to hear the distraction noise. Or alternatively, the guy walking towards it doesn't have to see it, but he does have to hear the distraction noise. This didn't work because the gas only stunned one guy. So I should get it within the next try or two. So be ready to run. Get as close as you can. So launch the camera, do the distraction noise. If done correctly, they'll both be heading towards it to investigate. Disperse the tear gas as soon as they're close, and then immediately run like the wind. Get around this corner ASAP, and then get over here to the far corner where the shadows are. If done correctly, those two guys will be stunned so that they couldn't see you. The guy at the little checkpoint kiosk will probably perceive you, and then he'll come this way to investigate. But as long as he doesn't actually see you, you're fine. as far as I can tell, by doing this, the guy at the little checkpoint kiosk, you're too far away for him to truly 100% detect you. But now it's just a matter of waiting. These guys, if you wait long enough, their search phase should come to an end, and then you can time your movements around them, not looking this way. But if you do this right, you can very carefully get around them while they're walking around investigating. The important thing is that the guy that was at the security hut goes back to the hut. Because we need to climb a pipe on the wall that's to our left, but it's over here in the grass, and it's got a literal spotlight shining right on it, so these guys cannot be looking this way. Once you're certain you can make it, just get over here to the aforementioned downspout or pipe or whatever, and then drop down, talk to Francis Cohen over here, and let's extract. There you go. That's how it's done. Even without enhanced, that mission is pretty easy to ghost. On hard difficulty, at least. Alrighty, see you next time.